Hey, welcome back to the Parrot Side podcast with myself, Skills, 60 in the building.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
Man like Rolz.
Yeah, we did.
Why this guy come on?
Oh my god. What to do, man? Rose, why do you have to be so ass guy?
Guy, free me, Jerry.
I beg. Skills, carry on.
If this is your first time listening, obviously, to the Parrot Side podcast. All four of us went to the same primary school, Greenwood House School. If you know, you know. And that's why we call it the Parrot Side podcast. We're here to just hang around, chill. We're here for the jokes. What we do back then in the Parrot Side, we just hung around and we chilled, right? So we divided the podcast.
I'm punishing people who are on prefects. Yeah,
facts.
I'm running assignments, so you have stuff to do when you get it.
Bye, Skills. Let's get into it.
Yeah, now we decided to divide the podcast to different sections. We have current affairs, a Greenwood story, you know what I mean? And then main topic of the day. Today we have a good one. Obviously, current affairs. Nigeria just crashed out of the AFCON. Greenwood story. We're talking prize giving day. And social issues, main topic of today, sexuality in schools, with pushing agendas. I'm not going to call out whose topic this was. So let's just carry it. So,
Let's go.
AFCON, Nigeria out. What we said, Buhari's fault?
Yeah, man, I blame.
Yeah, everything's Buhari's fault.
Yeah, man.
The guy feel like I said Buhari is there kicking ball with them.
Bro, you gotta keep that.
You know, Buhari hasn't done like a live address to the nation in like Lord knows how long. So honestly, I'm blaming it on that because if he addressed Nigeria, you know, the players, the morale will be high.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you address players, probably would have lost even more.
No, but didn't he talk to them? Isn't that why? Like, because we won.
Yeah, he spoke to them now.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, the key thing was
Probably told them to lose on purpose so that his own real country can win.
Wait,
Which one is his real?
What's his real
country?
Country.
Not Sudan or something. I don't know.
What's his country?
What African country now? You know, Buhari. Say, guys, his real name is Jubril Amin.
This
Real
Jubril
Buhari is dead.
conspiracy, man, is deep.
Nah, that stuff is wild, though.
I mean, to be fair, what do you expect?
Nah, but we're going off on Twitter, so Ghana is just going to make fun of us. That's the one that's pinning.
I bet let them make fun. We play them World Cup qualifier. We'll get back at them then.
Yeah.
Let's not. Okay, facts. I hope. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, that's a big game. Yeah, but it's all good. Who do you have to win AFCON?
Shit. Probably. I mean, if Ivory Coast get that shit together, maybe. I mean, between them and Senegal,
probably.
I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, Senegal or Egypt.
Egypt. This guy is just a Liverpool stand.
Yeah. Live. Anything that has my Liverpool players there.
But yeah, it's cool. Nigeria, man. One day, Jerry. One day.
Yeah,
One day.
we hope so.
We be repping Nigeria from even them Greenwood days. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
but anyway. Well, on the prize giving thing, okay. So here's the thing, right? Let me first say this. So out of all of us, I know Rolz used to collect prizes like a more for you. Strictly collected a few.
Yeah. I collected. I was more active in my early days. In my early days in Greenwood. Then when I got to primary 6 times, I became more of a dullard. But
I think kind of a scam. Because I don't even. Well, are you even have a prize giving day? Because like parents will come, their child not winning anything. They're just there clapping for other people's children for 2 hours. It's just a waste of fucking time.
Bro.
Facts. Actually,
a lot of the time it was heavily political, right? When you think about it, like, I'm sorry. I've seen some of the people who got prizes. Not saying that they're not good, they're great students, but a lot
they're shit.
It's based on your relationship with the teacher. Like it's
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie to you because the years where I actually won prizes, especially I think primary 6, I came second. It was like, oh, my mom knew our teacher.
Nah, I don't think so. I
Now,
don't
okay,
think so.
No,
It was
there might
purely
have been
based on
small
performance.
partial, but not like that.
Rose, trust me.
It was purely based on performance.
I
No,
think so. I
beg.
think it was based on performance.
I'm saying it's not purely because, like, did they have like if it was based on performance, they would rank everyone's exams like, oh, okay, you got this and this, you got that and that, and then they'll like,
Okay, wait, come out. Did you bring home any points?
Fam, I never even went for that thing. It's like legit. Like, I
that
never
No,
nigga
no,
boycotted the awards.
No, 60. I think it was based on like literally just like the first three, and then they'll
Yeah,
give them
pretty
those
much. Because
prizes.
like when we got our results, they always put like each person. They put your average there, like your percentage from all your courses. So that was what they used to rank us.
Promise you, a lot of subjects I was not doing better than half of these niggas. So believe me, it's probably based on average. Maybe that's what it is. Like,
But you know the thing,
Bro,
like that's the whole. Sorry, come on, go on.
Are we saying like, okay, so me know that I never went for this thing? Are we saying that I was never first in any subject from primary 1 to or rather nursery,
No,
whatever?
it wasn't based on subject. It was like
Yeah,
overall.
it was
overall.
only in primary 6 that they gave for subjects like best 3 in subjects. But
So it was
every
just
other
overall.
class, it was just first 3.
Oh, first 3.
Yeah.
yeah, it was just
No,
first,
I don't
second,
know
third.
if it's to come. I actually don't remember, to be honest.
The thing was rubbish. Like it just didn't even make sense.
I
Because
won't
like,
lie.
what?
I think collected, and that's when I thought, this is a scam. I'm going to bleep.
Oh
I'm
shit!
going to bleep it out,
Oh,
Sha,
God.
because I don't want to cast
Bro.
whose name I just said. But Sha, just
The guy was like, shit.
That's wrong now.
Nah,
Rose
that's
now.
vile. That's
I'm
vile
honestly,
from you,
I'm just
guy.
trolling now. But like honestly, I was like,
No, but I feel though, because there was some times when like some other niggas when I was like, hit.
bro, I'm telling you, Rose, there was a lot of politics in this P. Like, even the person's name I just mentioned, her mom and Mrs. Odeni P, they were like
They were tight, dude. They were tight.
tight as I'm telling you, like, bro, I promise you, yes, averages definitely count, but I'm sure sometimes they'll be like, well, this person I'd rather, because like they don't publish everyone's results, you know what I'm saying? So there's no way of really knowing. So
Well, maybe they just should. I think they shouldn't do even the prize giving day in the first place. Because it just doesn't make sense. Because now I'm getting on my mom. She's angry at me that I just came to talk for that picture there for 2 hours. I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, I'm sorry. Like,
no, that's a fact. I and that's a great like topic of like even ranking students. Like, I know it's meant to be like competitive and meant to help each other work hard, but I feel like that can be so like messed up. Like when I was in England, like they put me in bottom set. Like they ranked like in every class. Like, you know how we had Mickey, Barney, whatever. There
Yeah.
was a bottom class. So like, and I was consistently there, but like eventually going to senior school, I got into one of the best ones. So I'm just like, bro, our ranking things can be bullshit sometimes.
You see how
Yeah,
Rose isn't
that's
talking
fact,
much.
sir. That's
Rose
fact,
isn't
sir.
talking
I won't
much
lie,
because
I
he
won't lie,
collected.
No, that ranking stuff was actually bullshit because it kind of creates this level of segregation.
Now, Rose, you're waffling, bro, because you took home all the awards.
No, facts, yeah. Like,
Elitism, right?
yeah, exactly. That's part of it, elitism. I know I took awards. I won't even lie. I was a
not
beast
too
in primary
cool, guy.
school.
You packed every year. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Primary
the only year I
there
didn't
was no
pack was
year.
primary 6, sha. That was the only year I
The
didn't
guy
pack.
met
Oh, wow.
smile
Who
when
did
they
they give?
moved him
Who
to
did they
Mickey.
give? Let me guess. They gave.
Yeah, wait.
The
I
mark
can't
up
remember
collect.
top. Who?
Sorry,
Yeah,
she collected.
collected.
Oh,
Yeah,
right, right.
collected.
Yeah.
And I think Timmy was even first. Sef.
Fam, I don't
It's our
remember
proudest
that.
mini product, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So,
Was rapping, but yeah.
so like you said, like it already creates this kind of segregation between at such a young age that
That's facts. Because you start to look at them like, oh, those are the elites. Like, they're smart.
Exactly.
and
I mean, that
you know,
happens
funny thing
naturally.
is, like even in my secondary school too, like it was bad when we were in JS2. We had like 6 arms, so like from A to F, and like they just packed each class had like 25 people. They just packed the top 25, put them in A.
Yeah.
No, we did that
X,
too.
B, C, D, E.
It's crazy
and
to
F.
me how, and you know, the justification for that was always like, they used to say, oh, well, people like I was in bottom set, right? So they were like a lot of kids in bottom set were dyslexic, right? And they had like certain things with them where it's like, oh, they learn slower. So they're like, oh yeah, well, we're doing it so that these kids can learn at the same pace and they'll have something tailored towards them. But I'm like, nah, man, it was all like elitism because it's like, bro, top set.
Things like for us in our secondary school, we had top 20, I think, or in A class, and then BCD. In BCD, because we only had 4, BCD was a bit sprinkled. So you have like after the top 20, maybe like the next 15 will be sprinkled into BCD, and then you just have everything else random. But like in class, in my JS3, I was in A class. That shit was not nice. I don't even lie to you. Like, fair enough, you can say maybe the whole pace thing is bullshit, but see, these niggas stuck to that shit. But for some reason, it was always math oriented, and me, like, math isn't my thing. Like, I did law, like, math isn't my thing.
Was it like they made A do further maths or something?
They made us, like, they said we must finish the textbook because you're A class. Like, we'll finish math textbook. When everybody else is chilling after class, just playing around us, you still work in class, jacking in class because they've given us math homework that everybody has to do. And then the math teacher would always give us our scores. He used to announce scores, and he always do it bottom.
I hate them ones, man.
I hate them ones.
I was always at the bottom.
Did you guys?
Another guy, but always at the bottom. So that thing used to pay me. Everybody look at me like, I'm like, fam. Okay, first of all, if I'm in A class, I can't be dumb. Like that's the first thing. Yeah. But like math is not my thing. So like when you guys say like a crushes kid, like I kind of saw that like when I was
no trust. It really crushes.
In fact, come on, that example that I use of maths in my secondary school too. We had this maths teacher. His name was Mr. Akpe, and this guy would post our math results on the notice board for like the whole school to see. Like you post your score. You post your score over 100.
I get it. Man,
that was wild.
That like, but it gives you a bad motivation to learn because your motivation will be I don't want to embarrass myself rather than I actually want to learn this material. Because that's the thing. It's like, I was even going to ask you guys, did you guys, your schools, did they like positions of everyone? Because my sister's school, like they used to put everything, like they ranked every student. Like let's say there are like 200 students in the set. They'll put that.
Everybody had a number.
Yes, and they put that up on the notice board, and the top girl was like the girl on scholarship. But like, even to the bottom, like, like that's so debilitating, man. Like,
like that in my school too. Like for each course, they'll put your put your grade. They'll put your score.
That's crazy.
They'll put your position in your class. They'll put your position overall.
So, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You came last.
That's
so
crazy.
You come last in your class and last overall. Then after that, they'll now do the like total ranking. So for the whole like term, they'll show you your position in your class, and then they'll show you your position overall.
These guys did a full statistics report.
Legit. And
I want to say they did that like twice. Maybe like I think honestly either JS2 or SS1. I don't remember. All I remember is when they were doing it, I was doing quite well, so I didn't mind. But like I really did it for like 1 or 2 years. I think after that I scrapped it. It was never a notice board though. It was like on this thing they will give every head teacher or class teacher, whatever it is to call them. You have like the report for everybody. So beside your average score, you'd have your position in the whole set. But only they had it. Like not everybody could just go and see it anyhow on the notice board. We never did that.
This
well, you know the thing though.
But
what I want to like, is because like, even from a parent's perspective, they were then kind of, I don't want to say brainwashed, but in their mind, it was like, oh, if my child is not top 3, this nigga slacking. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
exactly. Like,
yeah, so it also like affects parents too.
Did every parent think that though? I don't know if every parent.
No, parents.
No, maybe not every, but like.
No, parents.
But like, yeah, for them to like, if you don't bring home a prize, like they're giving prize, you don't bring, like, it creates the impression that like, okay, like, you would do better than you. You know what I mean? They're not really start, you know what I mean, cracking down on everything. It's like, I don't know, man.
I think parents need to start being real about that child's potential, but that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah, that's definitely a topic for a different day. But parents definitely, I'm not like, believe me, like, you don't come home with prizes, and then your parents are like, "Oh well." So now I don't know where your ranking is. You might as well be at the bottom. Like that's literally like how it is. So I mean, um,
But now let's switch gears a bit. So obviously, like even related to this now, like them, how we used to see like them smart people, like they're smart.
I'm
I didn't
definitely
really
leaving
dance.
their names out. We're not giving free promo. I'm just joking.
Guys say I'm not giving free proof. Now,
You
but
said
shout out.
free
Yeah,
proof.
skills. What were you saying?
Now, yeah. So basically, like because I used to see them like that. I didn't then see them as the type of like, okay, they'll get into relationships or like in any sort of like
Facts.
with sexual way, even though in primary school.
Facts.
Like, I mean, like based on
Hey.
like, do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna bleep this out too, but a lot of right now. Hey, yeah. Anyways,
Well,
I'm
that's just what
telling
I'm saying, man. It's like, so like even like for example now, like niggas could not dare like, oh, I like this babe because you know need to show all about her books.
yeah, man. Imagine liking her. Like, what? Who would ever do that, man? That's crazy.
She would ever do that.
Yeah, like, man, nah, that's madness. But yeah, no, I completely get you. Imagining like, like at a young age, I guess. Are you saying like skills? Are you saying like imagining them being in relationships at that age or like later?
No, like it was just hard to. I don't want to say sexualize them because then that sounds weird. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Like, it's hard to see them in a light where like you see them as the good kid who always stays home and reads their books, essentially.
Yeah, but in secondary school it was different.
Yeah. Secondary school.
So on that thing, okay. So on that thing of sexuality in schools, okay. So like, what we saying about that? Like, is it like a thing of the schools were too sexualized? Is that?
I don't think our schools were sexualized. Like, as in where we went to primary school, I don't think.
No, let's do more secondary school because in secondary school niggas were bed testing.
Okay.
Primary school, everybody was shy.
I think let's have a discussion about the word gives. That was like the first time I heard about that was secondary school, like secondary school time, and it was like a motivation. Everybody, I want to give. Have you?
Everybody wanted to collect gifts, tap currents,
tap currents. Nah,
humble each other.
Oh Lord, nah, but yeah, I guess.
Man, they used to call it. Yeah.
Like,
that don't sound too good. That sounds like somebody doesn't want to be.
That doesn't sound. I might have to bleep that one out, bro. Nah. But no. Like, yeah, I completely get you. What was your secondary school culture like when it comes to like sexuality and all that? Like.
Let me just
I know Roses want to be the wildest.
Rose, yeah, probably.
Yeah, my school was wild.
So I don't even know which one to even pick with this one. But like in general, I feel like people in secondary schools have this sort of. I don't know if it's pressure. I don't know if it's expectation. I don't know if it's just.
Yeah, I would agree. There's like pressure.
So well, like there's this. There's this, I'll say pressure. There's pressure to want to engage in all these things. So me, like, in secondary school, I didn't really go near all this shit. Like, I always try to stay away from. You can call it whether religious reasons or whatever. Like, I didn't really try to engage in all this stuff. And then people found this weird. Like, I remember people asking me bad questions like, yo, so you've never done this, you've never done that, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, nah. Well, you might have to bleep this, but I guess F word, whatever you want to say. You'll say, nah, this guy is this, this guy is that. Yeah, if you guys can read this blind, you kind of know. Or I guess you can say the guy was gay. I guess that's a safer way of saying it.
But you said the F word, like.
60 said that knowing full well you have to bleep it out. Fuck you, waste, man.
Yeah. So there was that. And then I also feel like that pressure didn't create the best of environments for all these things. Come back to Dom. After knowing damn well they did nothing outside and just lie.
Lie that they gave.
That they gave this, they did. this girl did this, she did that, she did. And fam, they did nothing. Like, they literally did nothing, but they will lie about doing it. And even when they do it, they don't always do it in like the best of ways. Let's say consensual ways, whatever. Like, they use style to do it. They would.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. 'Cause sometimes it's not consensual because Ben niggas will come back and say they give. They dragged all of them on Twitter at some point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a lot of them were like, there's a difference between like, actually like, trying to, what would I call it? Like, trying to, get a girl to be interested in you, and then you just being like, no, I won't give, and then pushing the idea of like pushing her to the point where she's like, oh, this guy's going to keep disturbing me. Like, I feel like that's where those guys that got dragged on Twitter, one of them from our primary school, but I'll probably bleep that out too.
Yo, this nigga, yo.
I didn't even remember him.
Nah, was bad though. That, like, people were saying that guy was addicted to like sex and all that.
Dude, that's wild.
He was knocking his house help. Like, nah, it was
bro.
Yeah, bro.
Oh
like,
God.
Nah, it was really deep.
Because these same niggas will come back and say, "Well, give this, give that." Like,
do you get like that's crazy?
Yeah. You know, but like I'm said though.
Most guys that were in boarding school, I'm pretty sure you saw. Even though let's facilitate teacher thread for now, like. You didn't need that Twitter thread. Like, you saw that shit yourself. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you're in a boarding school, you have to have seen that shit happen.
I've seen what shit happen.
Like, niggas just doing shit like they weren't meant to do.
Yeah. That's true.
Or whatever. Like, yeah, like even if you just touch a babe or group or whatever you want to call it, like, people did shit like anyhow because they could get away with it. Like, they just do it. I can't speak for you guys. Say that.
No, but I think it's funny now. It's because now I feel like we live in a time of like, okay, obviously you cannot be doing shit like that. You know what I mean? Now is everybody be speaking out. But fam, the stories I'm hearing from my secondary school now is worse than was doing back then. So back then, niggas used to like creep and like, okay, we touch your hands, the baby will smile, you two smile, and it's fucking awkward and whatever. But we're teenagers, right? Now I'm hearing at 7:30 a.m. before the teachers come in. I'm hearing that niggas dicks is out and babes are sucking. I don't know. Like,
I mean, guys, we can't be like surprised because of the world we live in today. The kids of today, especially depending on
I swear today is wild. Today is fucking
like
wild.
Depending on who they live with, what they see, like it's actually just wild. Like the guy who basically introduced this 8-year-old boy to sex, like, because really he's a pedophile. Like having sex in front of kids is actually a form of what do you call it? Like, you can still call the person a pedophile. Like, so the guy, he used to like watch porn in front of the kids, all sorts of like crazy stuff. Like,
this in Nige?
Yes, in Nige. It's in Nige, and that type of stuff is just like, nah, it's just.
I think we had all responsibilities too, because even in schools, for example, like teachers don't help. Yeah, I mean, like, teachers don't help. True. Like, teachers do weird shit sometimes. I'm like, yo, like.
True. Very true. So like, even when I saw like the topic of like 4-year-old, it just reminded me like the idea of when someone typed in like 4-year-olds were kissing. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
kids are really, some kids, if they're exposed to the wrong things, especially the age we live in now is like everything is sexualized. So it's like,
yeah, that's facts, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you guys like a couple months ago. The 4-year-old thing, like, I was at work and one of my coworkers was showing me the video and I was like, bro, like, they legit like snuck out of class, went to the back of the building and were making out and then went back. And I'm telling you, they were like 4. Like, they were literally.
You know what's crazy is in their mind, they're not doing anything tragic. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
no, exactly. They know what the fact that the fact that they snuck out, went to the back of the building, and then did that thing and went back, means that like they were trying to. So they kind of know, like what they're doing, it's going to be doing in front of everyone, unless they were just done it wherever they were. So, which is even the scarier thing, like how they're doing is wrong.
They definitely know that what they're doing is wrong, and it's like, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, the kids themselves is like, oh, them doing things like kissing and all this stuff. Even the guy, you know what's crazy? That guy, whoever your coworker is in America, like, bro, even him having that video, that's child porn technically. Like,
it was on Facebook, fam.
Well, that's crazy. Facebook is meant to flag certain things.
You know, the rules in Nigeria are different.
Yeah, the rules are definitely different. But like, even in America, like that type of stuff. Because sometimes, it will even come out like someone puts on their WhatsApp story, like, oh, yeah, one baby grinding on a baby. I'm like, bro, like what?
Whoa.
Like the world is just, man. I don't know. I pray for my future kids.
That's the question. That's the bigger question. Like, how do you, what do you do about things like this? Because it's not
like if you can do much. Can you do much? I don't think you can.
Yeah, I mean, you can just make it a duty to make sure you're present as much. My goal with my future kids is I personally don't want to actually be working 9 to 5. Then I want to be more entrepreneurial in the years where the crucial stages of like raising my kids. Like I want to have enough saved.
But I feel like even if you are right? I don't know. Like these days, TikTok raises children. You know, parents don't raise children. Yeah. We were kind of raised in that sweet spot where it was like, oh, sex is like good, but then it's bad. You know.
I mean, wait, it's not true. Like, how many of you actually got like a sex talk from like your parents?
You know, you're asking the right questions. I don't even think that do Nigerian parents do that.
I mean,
I don't think so. That's part of it.
But yeah, mine didn't. I mean, they only told me don't come back with anybody that's pregnant. That's the sex talk I got.
Literally, that's the peak of what I got as well from my brother, not even my parents.
Yeah, pretty much.
My parents never even mentioned it. Like literally, there was nothing. Like nothing.
Yeah, same.
SS2, I think it was SS2. We used to do like civic education, and one of the topics was sex education. But like, let's be real. Even in that no class, like it was so one-sided. It was just telling girls to close their legs. Like there was no
literally like. And when you now start talking details, everybody just use it for bands. It's like,
but it's also part of the bias culture, you know, because I guess in Nigeria anyway, like sex is such a taboo for women more than men. Like they don't really talk to men like that about shit like this. Like it's really women do this, women do that. That's so right. You know, it's reflected even in class when they're meant to be teaching a topic to both people. They're only teaching it to one person, and they're not really teaching it. They're just like commanding you to do shit. Like it's not. It doesn't work. Like you need something a lot more substantial to make a difference for us. We're a bit far away, man.
What's fun? Rolz, what you saying?
Yeah, Rolz, I was about to say, man. Quiet over there.
It's quite scary. Just like 60 said, like when you think of our own next generation of children and the things that they may most likely be exposed to. But like one good thing is that like our current generation, like they started calling out all of these things, especially when they see it in like secondary schools and all. Because like in the past, probably a lot of schools have gotten away with students doing certain stuff and then they'll just try and kill everything and not make or shine a light on
a big deal of this,
yeah. But like these days, like people are speaking up and all, and people are trying to like work into like the schools curriculums and teaching students like the importance of like sex education, concepts of consent and all of that kind of stuff, because it's what people teach, it's what you teach people that they will learn, that they'll be able to apply and all. And if you don't teach them these things and rather they are saying other stuff pretty much and then they do it, they always feel like they can get away with it and all.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people now that have probably been in those situations where they've done those stuff and then they look back at it like with the level of knowledge that they've accomplished now, obviously most of them will look back in regret that had I known, I should not have been doing these things, because you don't know the level of trauma you might be causing all the people that you might be doing these things to.
Yeah.
All of that.
But so here's another aspect though. Do you feel like, because you know how the society kind of like Kamal said, like there's this thing of like, okay, you should not do this or you should not do that, blah 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 blah. So like it's kind of like how, like when you tell any child now, like don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't drink, don't smoke. That's then kind of like all they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, I do. I feel like there's also that slight aspect of okay, don't do this, don't. I mean, like I don't know if your parents said it, but my parents okay, like or something, girlfriend is for later, focus on school and stuff like that.
Live, no live.
Exactly. So now I'm just like, I mean, what's wrong with babes? I mean, some of them pretty over there. You know what I mean, like, so
yeah, I feel you skills, but at
know,
the same time, I feel like there's a time for everything, pretty much. So like at certain stages, like you might not be developed enough to be in a relationship and all of that, and then like
I mean, that's true.
get yourself, you probably get yourself hurt, and then that's the how people's villain stories begin.
But you know
it's
the
really an origin story.
you know
Yeah,
the
villain
other
origin
you know
story.
the other angle to this, and this is what Skills is saying is, look, if you decide, oh, I want my kid to only start having relationships at whatever age, regardless of what we want our kids to do, other kids in school will always be doing
Facts.
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
When they get to that age, they're inexperienced, and I'm not saying inexperiences in like sexually. I'm talking about just like liking
In
this,
general, yeah.
back. So they may not understand their feelings, and even that, I would say that's more of an avenue where the person is most likely going to get hurt, because it also relates to the thing of like, oh, I'm not going to lie to you, like as a parent, and it will sound crazy. I'm going to tell my kids, I'll be like, if you want to smoke, go and smoke. You know it's bad. If you want to drink, go and drink. If you want to have sex, if you want to do any of these things, when they get to a certain age, obviously, you know what I'm saying?
No, I was gonna say,
Experience is the best teacher.
I'm going to be like, see, if you want to do it, just do it. Because one thing I know is that every single bad thing that I have done in my life, like in terms of like, oh, things that I've tried or things that I've done, it's always been because like I'm like, it's so stigmatized that it's like, you know, when you feel like you're caged up. So like the first opportunity you have to like be free, you're like, oh well, I don't care.
Exactly, because you've been in cage this whole time, so it's like, now we're free. Yeah.
It's like the strict parents just make sneaky kids. That's all it is.
Yeah. And 61 thing I really, really agree with you on is when you said that, like, no matter how much like talk to your kids, like when they go to school, they see other children doing these things, like it's still part of it. And that's why I feel like as much as a good home training is very, very key, like peer influence can undo years of bringing up a child pretty much, because like when they see their friends doing it and then they feel like isolated, and then they want to know, they want to see, let me experience this thing now. Like I see my friends doing it and all of that. Well, like, man, at the end of the day, like personally, I believe the most important thing is just pray that like your children, family members, and all, they just don't end up doing the wrong things that most likely jeopardize their lives, or just put them in a situation whereby they will just be constantly regretting their decisions, pretty much.
Yeah.
I definitely
think a combination of prayer and also doing what you can to make sure that you've done your best, like not just praying and like just say, oh, my kid can do it. Like just
we'll do your parts,
yeah.
Do you get? So I feel like it's like combination of those two. I definitely agree with you, man. Rolz.
Yeah.
Like,
and another thing to like approach is very, very crucial, especially when raising children. Like if you are just telling that now, don't do this, don't do that, and then each time they do it, you are so strict, you keep on flogging them, you say you don't listen, like I don't know, to an extent it builds a level of resentment. But like if you actually speak to these children, like make them understand. Like I read this book, it's called How to Become an Effective Father. I know say skills Gurian nonsense. But like the book gave like a lot of very, very crucial pointers on how like to handle your children, especially when they go out of line and all. And like approach is so important. Like you have to, if you are correcting them, you have to do it with love and to help them understand why they are not meant to be doing
this nigga trying to teach us how to be a father using words like crucial.
Nigga, rest. What's this guy on about?
No, I mean, Rolz, I get you. It's just like at the end of the day, I mean, shit. If anyone is listening and wants to check out the book, definitely. Fatherhood is very far from me, so
Check out the book. Check out our
I'll
podcast.
delay the book. I mean, check out the podcast first, then the book after.
I mean, if they're listening to this, they checked out the podcast.
Obviously, yeah, exactly. They've already checked out the podcast, but
Yeah, no, I was going to round up the thing. You know what I mean? So like, anybody want to say any final thoughts? So we chilling. We good.
yeah, man, protect your kids and just be safe out here, man. And Buhari will go next year.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, just be safe, protect your kids too, teach them the right things, pray for them too as well, because you might be able to look at them at home, but you can't see what they're doing when they're outside. So, pretty much.
I'm always here.
Yeah, man. Like, I guess you just have to give some words of encouragement to, I guess, the women who actually did suffer some sexual abuse at the hands of these people that either didn't know better or knew better and did it anyway. Because at the end of the day, like, a lot of these women have gone on hide for so many years. So, yeah, try and give some words of encouragement to them, healing words. And other than that, man, I think I'm all right.
All right.
No, we're chilling.
Ask you, what do you have?
Nah, I have nothing. Literally, that's all.
Yeah.
We're chilling.
That's a wrap.
No, we're chilling still. Yeah, that's a wrap. That's my piece.
Check us out. We're going to be on every
yes, sir. This has been the Parrot Side podcast. Obviously, episode 3. We here, bro. We here. Episode 3. Check us out on all the platforms. Don't send us no feedback.
Yeah, please, like,
don't do that. Don't do that.
Said this.
Don't do that.
Okay, it's out of my time.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, 3 episodes in, we'll keep it coming. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace out.